Hey guys, it's Rachel. I'm sorry that this is on a Friday again. I was spending time travelling up north yesterday because I have been down in the south. So I didn't get the opportunity to make a video, but I am making one for today, so hopefully I can get this up as soon as possible. This week we've been looking at addressing kind of quick fixes with regards to possibly regarding the diet industry and how people who are quite vulnerable can be drawn into the thought or the belief that they need to lose weight. I know that there was here in the UK a protest with some of the Beat Young ambassadors and those who head up Body Gossip outside Parliament in London about trying to get rid of these diet industries really and things that promise to make everything better once you've been on a diet or once you've lost a certain amount of weight. So that is something that's been going on here, and there were some meetings held and the sort of response from places such as Weight Watchers was that, you know, they've got somebody within a healthy BMI that they still feel that they may recommend to them that they still lose weight. So a healthy BMI is between 20 and 25, and that was quite shocking really, that they actually would support somebody within that space to actually lose weight. So that's been going on here in the UK. I know that there is a lot going on in the States as well with regard to activism. So I'm going to try and discuss today some of the ways of avoiding some of those kind of promises that are all over the television, all over billboards and all in the magazines, and try and help you understand how they won't be helpful, and that actually some people feel that using some of these programs with regards to a set meal plan can actually help them with their recovery, and whilst to an extent that could be true, more often than not, it's very easy to believe that because you're trying to eat healthily that you're recovering. And of course, being recovered and recovering is about having a healthy relationship with food and is eating healthily, but also you have to remember that by following a healthy lifestyle, that can also be taken to extremes, and you can very easily fool yourself that you're actually in recovery when really you're still using very restrictive behaviours. And whilst what you are eating may feel very healthy, that you're still not eating enough. But sometimes that's the biggest, the hardest thing to let go of within an eating disorder, because I think that if you have somebody who is eating, say, 3 meals a day and is making sure those 3 meals are incredibly healthy, that they can fool themselves that they are recovering, that they are caring for themselves. And whilst there's some truth in that, because they are giving their body healthy foods, if it's not enough, it's not enough. And if it's restrictive, it's restrictive. And whilst I would encourage anybody who's in recovery to use healthy foods to help them, whether it be lose weight, gain weight, stay the same weight, to build a healthy relationship with food, you have to be using foods that are helping you, that help you physically, help you grow and develop and heal. There's no point in your recovery being about eating a load of crap just so that you can gain some weight or what have you, or to tell yourself that because you're eating these foods that you're recovered. So you may be somebody who doesn't eat all day but then has pasta for dinner, and it's like, well, I ate a load of pasta for dinner so I must be okay, or I went out with friends for dinner so I must be okay. And that's something that a lot of people fall into with their recovery. I think that they are able to maybe do some of those things, but they make up for it in other ways, such as not eating as much the next day. I know many people who think that they are in a good place with food, whereas really they're not. And whilst it's positive that they can eat certain foods and can maybe go for dinner, the fact that that's the only kind of food they're getting doesn't mean that they are well, does not mean that they are healthy just because they're eating foods maybe at one time that they didn't. So these are all the traps that you can kind of fall into. Obviously it's the beginning of January, and even I think it's like the first day after Christmas Day, all the adverts are about weight loss. And one of them, which I actually find quite hilarious, what we have over here, I think it's for Aldi, and they have some classic adverts, and it's a guy in a red dress. And you know, a lot of people over here, and maybe you have them in other countries, have this special K diet, and you know, you can fit into your red dress and all the rest of it. And he has like the Aldi equivalent, so he's got his special, he's like, I like this and I like this, but this dress is still a bit tight, and he's in this red dress. And I kind of like that. I like that play. I like how it is taking the piss out of something, and offering a kind of edge on it. And I get sick to death of most of these adverts. I think they are just constant, and it is just hammer, and it literally makes you want to do the same to your head. And the only advice I have for that is to literally put it on mute, put the television on mute. And I've said that before. When it comes to products, and we will go out and about, and a counter in somewhere like Boots or wherever, we're being told that we should use this cream to help us look younger, we should use this hair product to make us look better. And it's all this idea about us not being good enough when we are good enough. And whilst it might be nice to have a nice moisturiser, or to use some makeup that you've spent money on, or to take care of your general appearance, the message that those things will make you a better person really needs to be considered. Because using anything, it might make you feel good. I get up every morning, I'll have a shower, I wash my hair, I'll put some makeup on, I get dressed, and that's part of my day-to-day living, and it's part of looking after myself. And I don't do it because I feel I have to, I do it because that's what I do, and that is just what I do. And that has been part of my recovery, because early in my recovery, especially when I was very depressed, I couldn't do those things. And I guess they're kind of like a routine for me, but I'm certainly not going to freak out if I don't. I have days where I just stay in my onesie and watch television, which is fine as well. And I don't really feel swayed by using products. For example, a lot of people may use anti-aging products, and feel this need to not look a certain way, to not be able to have kind of age lines and all the rest of it. And when you're feeling very vulnerable, it's very easy to believe that that's going to make everything better, that if you are using X, Y and Z, that everything's going to be fine. And some of those things may come into body dysmorphic disorder. I know a lot of people with eating disorders struggle with that, so they might focus on a certain part of their body or face, and kind of be very determined to use something that is being put out there to make it all better, to fix it. There's a lot out there to do with people having liposuction and all of that stuff, and it is just, I'm actually really glad that there's been some programs that are showing the devastating results of things like that, because those things aren't going to are not going to necessarily make things better. And whilst there's people who do, when you're vulnerable from eating disorders and all the rest of it, those things I believe should not be carried out, because I think a person needs to be in a better place for themselves. And if you do get to that place, like where I am now, there were a number of things I used to think I needed to change when I was ill. Now that I'm well, I don't feel that same need. And whilst I make an effort with my appearance and I like to look nice, that's for me really. That's not about feeling oppression. Of course, you know, when I go out, I want to feel good about myself, and if I go out, say on Christmas Eve, I want to feel good in what I'm wearing, and that's normal. That's and it can be healthy, but it's about not having that take over your whole existence. And they're things that are very easy to fall into, and it doesn't have to be purposeful. They're things that are easy to fall into because we're human, and those things are there when you're ill. And I think that when you're in recovery, some of those things feel even more intense, that you're feeling bad about yourself because you're trying to eat healthily. Changes might be going on with your weight. You might feel uncomfortable in your body because of fullness. You might feel that your body's changed overnight because you're eating. There's a number of different things and distortions that are going on inside your head, and it's very easy then to think, well, actually this could be a quick fix. So, I followed my meal plan this week, and I should really go to the gym because I'm eating, and it's been told that I should exercise 3 times a week, so I really should do that. And it's about trying to ignore some of those things, focus on your health. And I do think that people should be active, and yet you've got to also be reasonable with where you're at in your recovery. And I would encourage you, when it comes to you feeling not good enough in yourself, that you don't like how you look, how your body feels or whatever, is focus on activities that have nothing to do with that. So you're focusing on things maybe like photography, art journaling, drawing, taking your dog for a walk, I don't know, just anything that interests you, and engaging in those activities which have an outcome that you can kind of feel better about. And what I will say to you is that if you're engaging yourself in those activities, you're far more likely to feel good about yourself than should you be engaging in fad diets or like drinking these teas that are supposed to flush everything out and make you all healthy, and avoiding dairy, and not having too many carbs and all of this crap that's thrown at you. But to actually focus on activities, focus on doing something that makes you feel good. About what makes me feel most good, if that's even English, about myself, is the fact that I have come through recovery. I am now recovered, and I now have a future ahead of me. I have worked really hard to get to where I am today. I'm filling out my clinical forms have gone off to the universities. I'm looking for work, and I'm getting a sense of fulfillment, and all that does for you is just build your self-esteem. And this is the problem when you're really poorly, that you don't have those things in your life, and so your self-esteem is really low, your sense of self-worth, which then can result in you using behaviours. But try and do something that makes you feel good about yourself, and try and find your niche, really. And I guess that's the way to avoid the impact of some of these things. I hope I've made sense, guys, and I'm sorry this has gone up on Friday, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye.